Let's call the meeting to order. Okay, let's see. If everyone can rise. Is there, actually before that, does anyone have any special intentions? Yes, Councilman Brannigan.
Funny girl. I just want to have everyone say a prayer for Councilman Wilmot's mom. She's been in ICU for a while, and we need to pray for her. Thank you.
Yes. Councilman Wilmot.
And also, if you will, keep the family of the Stagneys in your thoughts and prayers, as Miss Brenda, that's Representative Joe Stagney's mother, is not doing well. So please keep them in your thoughts and prayers as well. Thank you.
And I also want to ask for prayers for the family of Lynn Kelly, who was the former principal of Kenner Discovery at the main campus, who passed away earlier this week. She's also a Kenner resident. She was being laid to rest this morning. So just pray for her family, pray for the whole entire Kenner Discovery family. She was a gem, always smiling. It's a true loss to that community. So. Anyone else? Okay. If I could ask Father Dusoy, pastor of the Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church, if you could lead us in the prayer.
Let us remember we are in the holy presence of God. Heavenly Father, we lift up to you these intentions, both the ones spoken out loud and the ones deep within our hearts. We ask you to send down your blessing upon us today, upon all of Kenner, upon all of our family and friends, to watch over us, protect us, and guide us. We also ask you to send down all of your angels to bring us closer to you all the days of our lives. And we ask all this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you. I forgot to mention that he's a proud Rummel Raider.
Raider pride.
If Councilmember Swarth, will you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Chairman, you have a quorum. In accordance with Council Resolution Number B14550, please be advised that all cellular telephones and other devices of this nature must be deactivated or silenced throughout the council meeting. We have correspondence, reports from the mayor, CAO, or department heads.
You ready for me?
Yes. Mayor, Chief Glazer.
All right. And I'll get through this quickly. As I promised, every one monthly meeting we'll give the tax numbers. For August, compared to the same month of last year, the tax revenues are up 19.17%, amounts to $720,074.70. So far, year to date, it's up 18.77%, which equates to $1.366 million. So tax revenue is still up. Some good news: the Office of Motor Vehicles, the Rivertown office, they started moving in Monday, so they hope to be open for business somewhere around the 1st of next month. So we'll have that building back in use. Building C, the air condition on floors 3 and 4 are complete. We're just doing some treatment. Terminex is doing treatment on the 3rd floor, so hopefully in the next, actually 2 weeks, we'll be back in those 2 floors. Councilman Swarth will be happy. We just past Wednesday, we issued a notice to proceed for the Roosevelt Boulevard fix, which from West Napoleon to West Metairie. But don't get your hopes up, because it's just a traffic count that needs to take place before, when you have federal funds, there's so many things you have to do. So although it's begun, it's going to be at least, what, a 3-year project, I think. We hope to get it a little quicker than that, but it drags along. So the project's begun, so hopefully at the end of 3 years, it'll be finished. But in the meantime, we'll continue the patchwork, because we know it is actually, a bad street. And the city is hiring. I did bring all the open positions, which we have plenty of them. Just, for example, in General Service Parkway, the people that cut the grass and do the maintenance, we have somewhere in the neighborhood of 28 people. We have at least that many vacancies, so we actually staffed at about 50%. If you go to the city's website, kenner.la.us, you'll see under the job openings, you can see everything we're advertising for. So as we hire these people, we can get the city back up and running a little quicker and looking a lot nicer. And with that said, I was asked, Senator Kirk Talbert's here to say a few words about insurance, I believe.
Yes, thank you, Senator Talbot, for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Chief, and Council. And as Chairman of the Insurance Committee, I get a lot of calls about property insurance, and I know we're all struggling with that right now. And in the midst of hurricane season, I just wanted to point out a few things. I attended a couple of seminars at the Department of Insurance up in Baton Rouge lately, and just a few things I wanted to mention. One, now that we're in hurricane season, get to know your agent. Get to know the person who sold you this policy, and get to know your policy, and more importantly, get to know what your policy doesn't cover. You always want to know what it does cover, but know what it doesn't cover. And, if God forbid, if we have a hurricane, hopefully we won't, but, take pictures of everything, save receipts on everything, and obviously follow any guidelines by local and state government. But just wanted to point that out. A lot of people are being dropped right now and struggling with insurance. We're doing everything we can to get insurance rates down. Citizens Insurance, is the state-run insurer of last resort. So, they have to take people there. So you're always going to get covered, but you may have to be in Citizens for a year or two, but that's what it's there for. And it's doing fine, and they've staffed up, and they've been inundated with policies. I think after Katrina, Citizens was at about 180,000 policies. We had gotten it down to about 30,000, which is good, because that means you're in the private market getting a better rate. That has swelled up to about 80, and we'll probably go over 100 with these 4 storms, Delta, Zeta, Ida, and Laura, which, believe it or not, if you look at the damage from those 4 hurricanes, it's about $30 billion. Katrina was a $30 billion event. Now, granted, that's in today's dollars, but it just shows you the magnitude of those 4 storms. And what adds insult to injury is those were almost exclusively wind. In Katrina, you had a lot of flood damage. So the federal flood insurance program took care of those claims, and the money came out of that sector. With these 4, it was almost exclusively wind. So, the private sector has really taken it on the chin. And but they'll recover. And we'll get through it. So I just wanted to mention that, and if anyone needs to call my office, it's 504-736-7299. And I do want to say, I'm glad to be here. This is the first time I've addressed the new council and the new mayor for this administration, and been proud to represent Kenner. And it may be premature, but I'll be running next year, and hopefully people will give me another opportunity to keep on representing Kenner. I enjoy it, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any.
Yes, Chief
Conley. I want to thank the senator for carving up some money for the Kenner Police Department at the last legislative session. Thank you. We voted on a lot of procurements at the last council meeting that money is going to be put towards. So thank you for thinking of us.
Very welcome. Thank you.
Councilmember Wilmot.
I too just want to express my thoughts, and I appreciate you too, Senator Talbot. You do an awesome job. You're in there in the mix, and you fight for Kenner. I see that because we get dollars back here at home, which is very important, and also you're very knowledgeable on the subject matter. So thank you again. I know insurance is something that you've been in for a very long time as chairman in the House and now the Senate. Thank you very much for all your hard work.
Well, we're trying, and, you know, I'm a consumer. You know, I'm not in the insurance business, but I'm a consumer just like everybody else. But we have a great delegation, you know, Debbie Villio and Joe Stagny. You know, we all work well together, and we have a good group up there, and we're going to do everything we can to get as much money and, you know, to Kenner as we possibly can.
And not to not say good things about them as well, because they too have brought home
Absolutely
money for the city of Kenner.
Right, it's a team effort.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much for your hard work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Councilman Brannigan.
Just
Not
want to
so
thank
fast.
you. Just want to thank you for being a phone call away all the time. Whenever we call you, if you don't answer, you call us right back, and I just want to thank you for doing
Well,
that.
appreciate it, and that same goes with y'all as well.
And Councilman Lahat.
Senator, thank you so much for coming. You always take my calls, and I enjoy speaking to you. One thing, I'm in the insurance business myself, being an attorney, dealing with property casualty. You know, this historically after Katrina, the same thing happened. A lot of people had to use Citizens. So a lot of people right now are despondent, trying to find carriers that are, you know, economical to them and they can afford.
Right.
It has happened before, and the carriers did come back after those couple of years, because I remember when I bought my first house, I had to use Citizens as well in 2006. So, you know, the people out there that are despondent about it, I think it is going to get better when the reinsurance marketplace recalibrates. And I know you know all this, and I know, but I get the calls, and
Right.
well, I can't afford to live here anymore. Well, it's gonna change. They are going to come back. I think people need to be hopeful about that, because we have historically have dealt with this before. And I want to thank you for presenting all that information.
Thank you. And you know, if you have an issue, please call my office or call the Department of Insurance. And, you know, one of the main things that we get called on is, you know, when you have a claim, I don't want to, you know, they offered me money, but it's really not going to put me back where I need to be. I feel like I deserve more money, and they don't want to take that first check because they think if they take the check, then the claim's over. You can always make a supplemental claim. So take the first check, get your home going again, you know, get that going, but you can always make a supplemental claim for damage down the road that you may not have discovered early on. Thank you.
Great info.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Mayor Glazer?
No, that's it, but I'm happy to say, well, I'm happy that's the last council meeting in this building.
Amen. Madam Chairman, I've received a request to change the order of business to take item 18A at the beginning of the meeting. I have a motion by Councilmember McKinney, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot, to change the order of business. Council members, please vote. Councilman McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. I have a motion by Councilmember McKinney, seconded by Councilmember Dunn, to adjourn into executive session. Council members, please vote. Councilman Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. The council will now be in executive session.
And just for those in the general public, we're having executive session and hopefully it will not be a long executive session. It'll be short, so we'll be back out here quickly. Let's call the meeting back to order.
Seconded by Councilmember Dunn to reconvene. Council members, please vote. Councilman Dunn?
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0 to reconvene. I have a motion by Councilmember Lahat, seconded by Councilmember Brennan. The motion would be to authorize a settlement in the Civil Service Board claim entitled Paulette Cooper versus the City of Kenner. Council members, please vote on the motion. Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn. Motion passes 7-0. Next, I have a motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Your motion is to authorize a settlement in the lawsuit entitled Andre Collins versus the City of Kenner, the Kenner Fire Department, Scott Hoff, and Terrence Morris in his official capacity as Fire Chief of Kenner in the 24th Judicial Court for the Parish of Jefferson, case number 812-454, Division I. Council members, please vote on the motion as the clerk has read. Councilman Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn? Schwartz?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Your next motion is a motion by Councilmember Brannigan, seconded by Councilmember Schwartz. Your motion is approving a settlement in the workers' compensation claim entitled Shawanda Everson Claim Number 8D22F748424. Council members, please vote on the motion that the clerk has read. Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Under the consent agenda, we have item 1, approval of minutes, the regular council meeting of August 4th, 2022. Madam Chairman, that will conclude the consent agenda.
A motion by Councilmember Brannigan, seconded by Councilmember Schwartz. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Under the public appearance agenda, we have item 8, public hearings and final passage. Item 8A is a public hearing regarding summary ordinance number 13,048. An ordinance approving a general advertising sign on the 65,512 square foot portion of the unimproved 23rd Street right-of-way, formerly Charlotte Avenue, bordering squares 87, 88, 89, and 90, Bainbridge Office and Industrial Park Subdivision, in Kenner, Louisiana.
It's a motion by Councilmember Dunn, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot.
To open your public hearing, council
Yes.
members, please vote. Councilman McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. We're now in a public hearing. Is there anyone, oh, I'm sorry, the planning director's here.
Yes, the planning director, Director Dufour. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Is this on? Yeah, thank you, Council President. I'm going to be very brief. This is an application by JEB Investment Group, LLC. They're being represented by Weber Consulting for the placement of, actually, it's the relocation of a general advertising sign that is currently approved on the property owned by the Bellins, on Bellins Fencing. They are actually JEB LLC. They purchased the right-of-way south of all of those squares in Bainbridge. It was part of the right-of-way was as part of an original settlement that was the city with Robco. I'm not going to go into the details, but it involved canal bottoms, and that's how the property became into the private ownership. And they have acquired it, and they are seeking to relocate their currently approved billboard on their lot to the new location, which is in that right-of-way. The billboard meets all the requirements that are identified in the general advertising code, and the Planning Commission recommended approval of this case.
Thank you, Director. Does anyone have any questions from the public? No. A motion to close the hearing by Councilmember Dunn, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0.
Do any council members have any comments? Okay. Motion by Councilmember Dunn, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 8B is a public hearing regarding summary ordinance number 13,049. An ordinance amending Ordinance 5931 adopted September 17, 1987, which approved the shopping center and certain C2 uses on Parcel G, Chateau Estates South subdivision, and approving Dog Stop of Kenner LLC to operate a pet daycare center with overnight boarding on Parcel G, Chateau Estates South subdivision.
Motion by Councilmember Brannigan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney to open public hearing. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Director Dufour, you
Yes,
have a presentation as well?
Thank you, Council President. This is, the applicant in this case is the Dog Stop of Kenner, being represented by Mr. Philip Giorlando of Brazil, Saxe, and Wilson. The property owner is Steric Pavilion LP, 50 Tice Boulevard, Suite 320, Woodcliff Lake, New Jersey. Parcel G fronts West Esplanade Avenue on the south and Chateau Boulevard on the west, Canal Number 11 on the north, and Rue Chardonnay on the east. Currently, Parcel G is developed as the Chateau Village Shopping Center. As part of the requirements of the Plan Unit Development application, the Dog Stop of Kenner conducted a early neighborhood meeting. They sent out approximately 13 letters to the surrounding property owners that were identified surrounding the parcel. The attendees included Mr. Giorlando, representing Dog Stop, Abby Craig, and Trey Boone, both of the Dog Stop, and Councilman George Brannigan attended as well. There were no members of the public who attended, and I don't believe any comments were received by them as part of this process, and the Planning Department has not received any comments at all regarding this. The property is zoned Special Ordinance 5931, which was adopted on September 17, 1987, which permitted the subdivision and overall development of the Chateau Village Shopping Center. The Special Ordinance did allow C2 uses without further council approval. However, the particular use that they are seeking approval for is the overnight boarding of pets, and that is not permitted in C2. So they are requesting to amend the special ordinance to allow that. Essentially, all the property around this site is zoned in some type of special ordinance. And all of it essentially commercial, medium to moderate level commercial development, all on the corners of Chateau Estates and Chateau Boulevard and West Esplanade. So they're essentially asking for approval of the overnight boarding of dogs. They're also asking to have approved some changes to the building. They want to They want to put some outdoor play areas behind the building and some additional parking for employees. They're changing the front of the store. They're going to alter it a little bit to show a double door instead of the single door. They're adding some doors on the back as well to access the play areas, and a couple of roll-up doors for deliveries. That's really the extent of what they're asking for. And the Planning Commission did recommend approval, and I think that this is going to be an excellent development at this location and for the city of Kenner. So that concludes the Planning Department's presentation.
Thank you, Director. Do you have any questions from the public? Yes, sir. If you can just state your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes.
My name is Ryan Nugent. My address is 5444 Erlanger in District 3. I'm actually fully in support of this proposal. I just wanted to clarify one point for the record. This is actually, the shopping center is the pavilion at Esplanade. The Chateau Village Shopping Center, which I actually see indicated by the map marker, that is an erroneous map marker from Google. I've actually been trying to get them to correct that for years. The Chateau Village Shopping Center is the former shopping center across Chateau Boulevard that is now, I think, entirely or mostly demolished. So this is actually an application for a development at the Pavilion at Esplanade. Just wanted to clarify that one point for the record.
Thank you, Mr. Nugent. I appreciate that.
That was my mistake. I apologize for that. I'll have to correct that. I think it's in the ordinance, actually, that it is the Pavilion. So,
Thank you. Mr. Brown?
but real quick, it is, the site is located next to where the Club for Fitness is.
Thank you, Richard Brown in District 4. I was just going to say the same thing the gentleman before me said. I was confused as I read the accompanying paperwork because I thought that was the Pavilion Shopping Center. And it didn't make sense till I looked at the paperwork, but it is the Pavilion Shopping Center.
Mr. Dufour, any additional comments?
No, unless there's any questions from anyone on the council regarding the development.
Any other comments? Okay. Seeing no additional comments from the public, let's close the public hearing. Motion by Councilmember Brannigan, seconded by Councilmember Kinney. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
I know Councilman Brannigan wanted to speak.
Yes,
If
this,
we could- Sorry, could you put your motion on the floor?
Oh, yes,
and
I
then-
apologize. Motion by Councilman Brannigan, seconded by Councilman McKinney. Councilman Brannigan.
okay, this location is the old Walgreens. Then they had, I think, a Baby R Us store in there years ago. It's been empty a long time. I went to the other location of Dog Stop. It's on Transcontinental and Veterans Boulevard. Walked through the thing. One thing that was brought up by Club for Fitness is they didn't want to hear any dogs barking, which I totally understand. So the tenant has decided and committed to put a soundproof wall down the east side of that building on the inside so that you won't hear it. When I walked outside at the Transcontinental location, I was standing next to the wall. They must have had 100 dogs in this place. You could hear a little beep, nothing that you could hear or disturb somebody who would be working out in Club for Fitness. So I'm glad that they decided to put another wall in, which will guarantee that they won't hear anything. I was at the meeting and no one showed up, and so I would hope that my colleagues on the council would entertain this, because I think it's a positive for our city. And when I was knocking doors in 2018, you would not believe how many dogs answered the door. It's unbelievable. And this would be a great place to be able to board animals, have them dip, clean, whatever. I'm not a dog guy, so I have no idea. But they also have a store in there, and I think it's going to be a great fit and add traffic to that development.
Any additional comments? See none. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 8C is a public hearing regarding a resolution authorizing a public hearing to be held on August 19, 2022, during the regularly scheduled council meeting of the Council of the City of Kenner, to allow the citizens of Kenner the opportunity to comment on the Kenner Police Department's application to the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Program, fiscal year 2022, local solicitation of $12,645 for the police officer overtime for law enforcement activities and criminal investigations.
Motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan, to open public hearing. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
I believe Chief Conley would like to speak.
Yeah, thank you. Basically, this is a grant that the Kenner Police Department has received since 2006. It provides for annual allocations of direct funding to law enforcement across the country. In Kenner, we dedicate that to overtime related to felony investigations. The formula that's used in determining how much an agency is going to get is population and criminal activity from the crime reports. So we're thankful we get such a low amount, but we'd like more. But nevertheless, that's what we're here for today. So any support, I would appreciate it.
Would anyone from the public like to speak on this item? Okay, seeing none, let's motion to close the public hearing. Motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan. Council members, please vote.
Councilman McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan. Does anyone want to speak? I just want to say that I think that, this is a great opportunity. I think we need to continue to support our Kenner Police. There are other areas in our community that don't have as enthusiastic, support for the police, and they're suffering the consequences. This is exactly what, the pride and joy of Kenner is that we're safe and we want to remain safe. So let's continue to support them, and we appreciate the chief. Thanks.
Thank you for your support.
No one else? Motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 9 is ordinances for the sale, purchase, transfer, lease, and or alienation of movable property. We have none. Item 10 is opening a bid. We have none. Item 11 is reclassification of zoning for final passage. We have none. Item 12 is other ordinances for final passage. Item 12A is summary ordinance number 13,051, an ordinance authorizing the Director of Community Development Department as the mayor's designee to sign any and all required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development for funding received and applied for by the City of Kenner through Community Development Department, including but not limited to applications for funding, grant agreements, certifications, and ratifying the signature of all environmental reviews for entities assuming HUD environmental responsibilities and other regulations, forms, etc. for the Community Development Department. I
have a motion by Councilmember Dunn, seconded by Councilmember Brennan. I believe the director would like to speak.
Just
Dr.
for
Shaw.
information, Tamithia Shaw, Director of Community Development. This does not take the mayor's power away. It's just that in his absence, we allowed a designee. In Jefferson Parish, when I was the director, actually I signed off on all of the documents because some of them are ministerial in nature. So to try to have the mayor's time to sign those documents, like, for example, our environmental, for every project we do, so it's something that we can sign in the office as opposed to the mayor has more pressing things to do just to sign those things. So this is just in his absence. It gives the designee, it designates the department, Director of Community Development Department to sign the documents. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Director Shaw. A motion by Councilmember Dunn, seconded by Councilmember Brennan. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yes.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 13 is resolutions and motions by council members. Item 13A is a resolution authorizing the placement for temporary signs on public property for LA Walks for Parkinson, benefiting the Davis Foundation.
A motion by Councilmember McKinney, seconded by Councilmember Brennan. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 13B is a resolution reappointing Captain Robbie Bassino to the Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board of the City of Kenner, whose current term expired on July 30th, 2022, for an additional term of 3 years.
A motion by Councilmember Schwartz, seconded by Councilmember Lahat. I believe Mr. Brown has something. If you can state your name and your address, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Madam President. Richard Brown, District 4, Kenner. I don't have a particular problem with this appointment. I don't know this gentleman and have no issue with his appointment. I have a concern about all of these items that were on the supplemental agenda, 13B through 13G. I think 6 items were added to the supplemental agenda. This one's an appointment to the Fire and Police Civil Service Board. The other 4 or 5 are all appointments to the Board of Zoning Adjustments. And I question why these needed to be put on the supplemental agenda. It seems like the city and the mayor's office, council members, all these boards all knew about these vacancies long before Wednesday, when these were added to the supplemental agenda. And again, in fact, one of these is someone who I strongly support, a couple of these names. But I'm concerned about the lack of transparency and the fact that 6 appointments to boards were added on the supplemental agenda rather than the main agenda. And I would like to ask that the council at least consider deferring these items for one meeting. Some of these are to fill vacancies that are arising. I think the earliest vacancy arises the end of September, so there's still plenty of time to make the appointments before then. It's just for the sake of transparency and giving the public all the notice possible. That's it, unless somebody has something for me. The chief mayor looks like he might have a question or a comment.
No, I'm just going to explain it. The city's Board of Adjustments and Zoning, the BZA, hasn't had a quorum in we don't know how long. They can't hold a meeting. So every code application that needs some kind of variance, the homeowner can't get a permit unless his board meets. So we spent, once we identified, first of all, you had to find people willing to serve. And that took, a couple of phone calls. You have, as some of them on here, one of them, 13G, will be removed because he's already sitting in that capacity now and expires next month, so he'll be back up in a later council meeting. But to get it seated quickly, we had to make the phone calls, get the people to agree to do this job, and to get them to have a meeting so they can start issuing variances and permits. So that's why. I don't think it has any difference if it made the regular agenda on a Monday or the supplemental on a Wednesday. It's pretty much, it needs to be done sooner than later. So if we defer it another week, the homeowners are still waiting another meeting. They're going to have to wait yet several more weeks before they get their permits when this board meets. And all these people have agreed. Some of them sat on, as you know, sit on various boards in the past. So that's the only reason why they all came up today.
I appreciate that, Mayor. My objection is just to give the citizens as much advance notice as possible in case they do have objections to some of these people. And in the 15 or 20 years I've been coming to council meetings, I've seen those objections arise, and I've seen citizens come forward to council members privately with objections. So, but my concern was just, why did they have to go on the supplemental agenda? I realize it's only 2 days difference, and I do understand the situation. All they say there to fill vacancies, do we have all of these people actually resign? Because we're actually, the Board of Zoning Adjustments is supposed to have 5 members, and we're appointing 4, and it says that each one of those positions is vacant. Have those members actually resigned?
Yes. The terms expired. They were never reappointed.
Okay. Well, I think some of the terms expire later, but okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate it.
And 13B is a vote taken within the fire department.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
this
that
is
one I
just a
understand.
formality here for the council to appoint them.
Right. That I understand that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. I believe Mr. Power would like to speak as well.
Yes, just information. Under state law, members of boards and commissions continue to serve until they're replaced, even though their term has expired. It's my understanding that most of these, if not all, and I'm not certain, their terms had expired, and they simply lost interest in going to meetings, from what I understand. And for the reasons the mayor stated, nothing was happening. these terms expired not since July 1st. Some of them expired months before, or possibly even years, because the terms are staggered.
Yeah, I think the one or two have expired already, but several have not. No, one expires later this year, at least one expires in 2023. I think one expires in 2024, because I looked at each one. And, but I realize if they're not showing up, something needs to be done. But I hope if we're filling vacancies, that the vacancies actually exist. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Any other comments any other comments? Councilman Swarth.
Mr. Richard, we'll let you know about Robbie Bacino, Captain, Kenner Fire Department. There's not a better person I would like to have representing the Kenner Fire than Robbie. He's done a great job in the past, and I know he'll do a great job in the future.
And he was elected by the fire.
And that's correct. And he was elected by the fire department members themselves.
Councilman Brannigan.
Yes, if I am for getting these appointments done today, because if our residents have been dragged and not being able to get their permits done and whatever they need done to redo their houses or whatever, I would not want to hold them up another second. So I will be supporting all of these today.
Thank you, Councilman Brannigan.
Yes,
Councilmember Dunn.
I would like to piggyback off that, because I do understand that this stuff takes time. Even once you get the permit, you still have so much other stuff to deal with. So I will be supporting this also.
Thank you. Any additional comments? I also just would like to point out that Captain Bacino's term expired on July 30th, 2022. So it would behoove us to extend that sooner rather than later. Motion by Councilmember Schwartz, seconded by Councilmember Lahat. Council members, please vote.
Lahat?
Yes.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 13C is a resolution appointing Kenneth Crowbear to the City of Kenner Board of Adjustments.
Motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember Lahat. Any comments? Additional comments? Okay. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 13D is a resolution appointing Keith Odenet to the City of Kenner Board of Adjustments.
Motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember Schwartz. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
Councilman McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 13E is a resolution appointing Wesley Goodman to the City of Kenner Board of Zoning Adjustments.
Motion by Councilmember Lahat, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot. Any comments? Okay, council members, please vote.
Councilman McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 13F is a resolution appointing Charles Friel to the City of Kenner Board of Zoning Adjustments.
Motion by Councilmember Lahat, seconded by Councilmember Dunn. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 13G is a resolution appointing Brad Bohannon to the City of Kenner Board of Zoning's Adjustments.
Motion by...
Madam Chairman, we've received a request to remove this item from the agenda.
Okay. Motion to remove, motion by Councilmember McKinney, seconded by Councilmember Brannigan. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 14 is items removed from the consent agenda. We have none. Item 15 is acceptance of contracts and similar matters approved by the mayor. Item 15A is summary ordinance number 13,050, an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Sorrento Lumber Company Incorporated to supply building materials in accordance with sealed bid number 22-6682 in an amount not to exceed $100,000 for the Department of General Services.
A motion by Councilmember Wilmot, seconded by Councilmember Dunn. Any comments? Council members, please vote.
Councilman Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 15B is summary ordinance number 13,052, an ordinance authorizing the purchase of office supplies on an as-needed basis utilizing Jefferson Parish Contract 55-20355 with Louisiana Office Products Incorporated, bid proposal number 50-001-37591, in an amount not to exceed $125,000 annually.
A motion by Councilmember Brannigan, seconded by Councilmember Lahat. Any comments, questions? Council members, please vote.
Councilman Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 15C is summary ordinance number 13,053. An ordinance approving amendment number 1 to the agreement between the City of Kenner and LeBlanc Fantasi Villio LLC dated December 29, 2021, to amend the terms of payment for the legal department.
Motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Council members, please vote. Oh, Mr. Morella.
Al Morella, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 50 years. Two questions on this. This amendment, is this an increase or a decrease? And two, I take it this firm is Debbie Villio, 79th District Representative. My representative is Baton Rouge. Is that correct? And whether this payment is a decrease or an increase? Dollar amount. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Morella. Mr. Power?
Yes, it's an increase of the hourly rate for legal matters outside of the police department. This is in line with every other contract that the city has for legal services. For some reason, their hourly rate was ridiculously low. We're just bringing it up to what everyone else's is. It will go, which are rates approved by the Attorney General's office. It's going from $100 an hour to $225 an hour for legal services to the city outside of the police department. And yes, it is. She is the state representative.
Thank you very much. Anybody got any comments, any questions? Thank you.
Councilmember Brannigan.
This firm has done an excellent job for the city of Kenner, and basically the Attorney General gave a fee schedule. It's in the documents in the agenda, and all it's doing is bringing their rates to what the Attorney General has done for us.
Thank you, Councilman Brannigan. Motion by Councilmember Brennan, seconded by Councilmember McKinney. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Brannigan?
Yes.
Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 15D is summary ordinance number 13,054. An ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from BLD Services LLC to provide preventive maintenance for existing sanitary and storm sewers, including service laterals in accordance with seal bid number 22-6673 in an amount not to exceed $500,000 annually for 2 years for the Department of Wastewater.
Motion by Councilmember Schwartz, seconded by Councilmember Wilmot. Council members, please vote.
Councilman Brennan?
Yes.
McKinney?
Yay.
Wilmot?
Yay.
Dunn?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Lahat?
Yay.
Brannigan?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 16 is ordinances and resolutions in summary for first reading. Item 16A is an ordinance authorizing the utilization of state contract number 4400022903 with Arco Company Services Incorporated for the purchase of towable and stationary generators on an as-needed basis in an amount not to exceed $1 million annually for the Department of Field Services. Item 16B is an ordinance approving the utilization of Jefferson Parish Contract Number 55-19858 with the Reynolds Company to provide electrical supplies on an as-needed basis in an amount not to exceed $200,000 annually for the Department of Field Services. Item 16C is an ordinance accepting the lowest responsive bid received from Beacon Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration Incorporated to furnish and install 2 4-ton air conditioning systems at the Council on Aging Building, 341 Compromise Street, Kenner, Louisiana, in accordance with letter bid 22-2017 and an amount of $17,425 for the Department of General Services. Item 16D is an ordinance approving amendment number 2 to the agreement with Dom Development Corporation for the miscellaneous carpentry work, labor only, increasing the agreement amount by $150,000 for a new not-to-exceed amount of $300,000 for the Department of General Services. Item 16E is an ordinance approving an agreement for the modernization of the elevator in Building C, 1801 Williams Boulevard, in accordance with RFP 22-6685 for the Department of General Services. Item 16F is an ordinance approving an agreement for the modernization of the elevator in the Kenner Police Department, 500 Veterans Boulevard, in accordance with RFP 22-6686 for the Department of General Services. Item 16G is an ordinance approving an agreement to provide audit services in accordance with Section 2.28 of the City of Kenner Home Rule Charter. Item 17 is reports from the council and our special committees.
Councilman Brannigan, we're in reports from the council. I know you wanted to speak during this time, so run.
He must have left his lights on and had gone out to the parking lot.
I think Natalie read too fast.
Sorry.
Just a couple of things. One, I want to thank my colleagues and Wendell for the dog stop. Thanking my colleagues for the votes on that, putting that business in the Pavilion Shopping Center, and Wendell for doing the homework that he did. This is going to be a great fit, and it's going to drive traffic to that area. I want y'all to know that Five Guys opened 2 days ago, and I stopped there last night at 8:50, and it was packed. So they're selling some hamburgers. I am very happy that this business finally got open. It took about 2.5 years, but with storms and COVID and everything else, it's unbelievable the amount of employees that they have working in there. Also, I've been talking about this curb project for District 4 for about a year, and Mayor Glazer signed the notice to proceed for me. The concrete contract has been signed for the concrete vendor that's going to represent the city, so that's a good thing. And I want to thank Councilmember McKinney and Wilmot for helping in the funding for this project. This project is going to be around $85,000, and it's going to fix every broken curb in District 4. Went out and negotiated a price based on guaranteeing amount of curbs. My assistant Jessica and I went out and eyeballed the curbs and came up with the numbers, so it all should be pretty close. But just want to thank Christy and Tom for assisting in this project. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Brannigan.
Item 18 is new business. It was taken at an earlier junction in the meeting. Item 19 is unfinished business and motions to reconsider or remove from a tabled position. We have none. Item 20 is persons wishing to address the council on special subject matters.
Thank you. If Mr. Philip Giorlando. Okay. Nicole Weber. Okay. Greg Teft. Mr. Treff, if you can approach, state your address, and you have 3 minutes.
Greg Taft, 3720 West Loyola Drive in Kenner. First, I want to apologize to Chief Conley. At the last council meeting, unfortunately, I got a brain freeze. I don't know why. I couldn't remember your name, and for that, I apologize. Sometimes age catches up.
Oh, no worries. I understand.
The other thing I want to just bring up, which also concerns KPD, is it possible to start letting citizens know what our crime statistics are within Kenner? Because I know some areas do. I don't know if Jefferson Parish does or not. I don't know if I've seen it from them, but to show citizens that crime is low or where crime is, it would be good to know what those statistics are and what areas are really kind of where the problems exist.
We're working on revamping the website right now, and we'll have that information on it.
That would be great. The other thing I wanted to ask you is, how many officers currently are we short at this point?
Short about 15 to 20 officers, sworn officers.
And are you soliciting from other parishes or maybe some of those areas where we're hearing on the news where officers are quitting due to the way that the city is treating them that could be an asset here in Kenner?
Well, we have an aggressive recruitment and retention campaign going on. It's actually started under Chief Glazer. We're going out in the community. We have a presence on social media. We just signed a contract that the council approved to where we're going to use an agency that's actually going to market us a little more using QR codes and kind of thinking outside the box. So, the problem is everybody is short of law enforcement officers, and we're all after that same applicant. So we are meeting with the mayor and the council to go over a pay plan, a 10-year pay plan to make us a little more attractive. We have a great group of men and women right now that do a great job. We have great facilities, great training. We have everything that we need. We feel if we can just get the pay for a new applicant up, that will be that model agency. So, we look to swing in an upward tick in that direction.
And that's why I was just wondering, because you're right. We do have, in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion, we have a great police department, a great fire department, and that is the strength of the city right now. And that's why it's so important that we do aggressively get the right people, because I think we have good officers. We don't want to lose what we have.
Right. I mean, it's just as important to retain the officers you have. That's why we're doing a pay plan, because if you've raised the salary up for the recruits and for the new officers, you'll have compression issues up the line, and that could cause morale issues and have all kind of other problems. But I do want to say that this administration, this council, we meet regularly, and they're 100% supportive of the department. Everything you just said, I think everybody realizes that we are very fortunate in the city of Kenner. We're the safest large city in Louisiana, and that doesn't happen by luck. That's due to the support of the community, the council, and the administration. So I think we're all on the same idea.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chapp. Mr. Morella.
Al Morella, 4260 East Loyola Drive, 5th District, 50 years. I want to address this to Chief Conley. At the last meeting on August the 4th, I asked you about the security detail at the Super Walmart on West Esplanade. There's still no security in that store. The employees want it back, the greeters want it back, and several people who patronize that store want it back. You told me, you advised it was back. It's not back.
It's not back at that Walmart. It is back at the one on Veterans. We can't mandate that any business have a detail unless it's through a special permit that comes through the council and that goes through all the agency heads. So we can't force Walmart. From what I understand, that Walmart did a study, I think since July 1st, they've only had 30 calls, 30 incidents, and that's everything from suspicious person to traffic issues. We still respond to the Walmart. That's part of our responsibility, but they make the determination whether they're going to have a detail or not.
That's That's all well and good, Chief, but I proposed at a previous meeting, when the last administration was still here, that we get a copy of that contract. When Walmart set up shop in the city of Kenner, I'm sure they got lucrative tax breaks. And in exchange for those tax breaks, there had to be stipulations. And if we can get a hold of that contract, and one of those, and if this is true, one of those stipulations is that they agreed to provide security in them stores, then we need to hold their feet to the fire immediately.
Al, it's Christmas morning for you. On that shelf, there's an envelope with a copy of the contract in it for you.
Okay.
Underneath the podium.
Okay.
So the contract really just mandated, it didn't mandate that they would have to use a detail officer.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the language is very permissive, but it's mainly setting up the pay structure and the logistics and how that's going to come through to our officers. Right now, because of our shortage of law enforcement officers, we can't fill every detail. So we wouldn't be able to provide them a detail if they wanted it. So, you know, it could be a possibility. We're using extra officers to fill beats and to do the street work that's much needed. So there is a copy of that contract right in that podium for you, and you'll see that it's mainly just setting up pay structure.
Okay, well, if not a KPD security detail, if there was a stipulation, then a detail is a detail, then maybe what they need to do is get an outside security detail.
They can do whatever they want.
We can't provide one.
They can do whatever they want.
If they agree to a detail, we need to hold their feet to the fire.
Right, but
That's
if
what
you
I'm
see in
saying.
that contract, it's not a mandate. But now, if they call and want a detail, we'll probably have somebody that can work the detail, but.
How much time I got left, Councilwoman McKinney?
7 seconds.
Make it real as quick as I can, okay? I want to comment on the interview last night on WWL with the mayor. First of all, I want to say this. I do not believe this was a backroom deal with the money we paying for this facility we're in right now, and those trailers outside. The company provided those trailers. I don't believe that this was just a backroom deal between the previous administration and these people. I cannot accept that the entire legislative body of this city was left out of the loop, and all of our non-elected officials was left out of the loop. I don't accept it now, and I never will accept it. And if that is the case, then guess what? That just goes to show how much, with the exception of the 3 new ones who've just been seated, just how much out of touch our legislative branch was with what was going on in this city as well. So I won't accept that. Never. Anybody got any comments, any questions?
I have a comment.
Wait, let him finish.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Morella.
Okay.
Ms.
I'll
Dunn.
stand right here and listen to it.
Councilmember Dunn.
Yeah, this is for you. At the last meeting, you said that you had read in a newspaper article about the airport in the flyover, and they were going to stop construction. Well, as I said, I'm not going to allow anything to go on in this district that I'm not aware of. So I had a meeting with the CEO of the airport, Mr. Kevin, and actually the news, the paper, the way it was stated, it was misunderstood. That flyover will continue to have construction on it, with it, and actually we're really 5 years ahead because the construction on the flyover was not even supposed to start. So I just wanted to correct you on that. There will be no stopping of the flyover, and we are not behind schedule on that. So I just wanted to correct that.
Thank you,
Real
Councilmember
quick,
Dunn.
Councilwoman McKinney. This is to the advocate. I expect a correction on that in your paper. If not, then we got to go by what we read. Somebody is not coming clean, so I expect to see a correction. Anybody else? Thank you.
Chris.
Councilmember Brannigan.
Mr. Morella, you had said that you do not think that the prior administration, we were not informed of the expenses. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying I cannot believe that the entire legislative body of this government was left out of the loop on what happened. I'm just saying I don't believe that. I'm not accusing nobody of anything. I just cannot believe all of you all was left out of the loop. And all of our non-elected officials, such as our directors or whatever, and our finance department, was not aware of the $78,000 for those trailers out there and the $60,000 a month that we're paying for this space. Now, the $60,000 came up, but the $78,000 didn't come up until just recently. And I just do not believe that everybody was left out of the loop, and this was an exclusive backroom deal with the previous administration and these people. That's what I'm saying, Councilman Brannigan.
Well, Mr. Morella, I can tell you, there are 4 of us up here that dealt with the prior administration, and I would think the other 3, never had any idea at the cost. Every time I asked Ms. Fauché for the cost in this building, it's $6,000 a month. It's $6,000 a month. That's all I heard. And basically, it got to the point where she was saying $6,000 a month was the 10% that the city was going to go if FEMA paid the other 90%. Nothing was ever disclosed on the $160,000 a month that was spent. Nothing. Now, I don't know if directors knew about it. I don't care if they knew about it. But I can tell you, I didn't know about it, and I would think that the other 3 of us that got reelected did not know about it.
Well, I'll just close it out with this real quick. Anybody that did, they were complicit in what's going on right now. Anybody that did.
Well,
thank you, Mr.
I
Morella.
disagree on that.
Thank you.
And I just want to have a final comment on about that. That was information, as a council, we trust certainly the administration to provide some information, and we did get a list of all that information. But when we're interacting with the administration, we do have to have a certain level of trust to the administration. I know that's kind of apropos right now because clearly they're showing that we should not have been doing that. But I assure you that as a council, we had no knowledge of the additional cost to maintain this building. And with that, I'm happy the next meeting is not going to be in this building. And that the new administration was responsible and, moved those and got a cheaper deal. I mean, I think that just reflects on the problem with having emergency powers and prolonging that. And making sure that the council does have oversight. All of those contracts, none of those contracts went through us, and we were not aware, we did not approve. So, certainly we're not the administrators of the city, so we don't know all of the details about every building that happened. Why doesn't, I mean, a better question is, why do we not have enough bathrooms in the city hall for the people who work here? I think that's even a better question. But they don't come to us with, and let us know we don't have enough bathrooms. So we leave that to the administration. This administration's responsible. We trust them, and we have the oversight authority for the bigger things, not the small nuances, which obviously a lot of those things are very costly. So I think it's, it just goes to show you when you depend on, well, FEMA's going to reimburse us, we can't always make decisions based off of that. We can't always, we have to dig into the details. And that's what I believe that the 4 of us on here have done that in the past with the budget and, asking these questions. So we've done our due diligence and we'll continue to do that moving forward. Thank you. Yes, Councilman Wilmot.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. And I, too, agree with what's being said up here by my colleagues that, we didn't want to be here. This isn't a location that we thought was fitting. It's a non-government building. I've said it all along, and I still say it. I have problems with being in an owned facility not being owned by the government. And I think that's critical that we get out of here as soon as possible. The amounts being paid, we weren't privy to that information earlier on, but we certainly did question it at numerous meetings, and it was brought out publicly. And I think everybody is aware of that. We did what we could We don't have control, the council doesn't have control over the buildings. It comes under the preview of the administration. So that's the way it played out. It wasn't what we wanted, but it's what we had other alternatives. And I think that's been questioned numerous times. So again, just making clarification for the record that that's the way it played out. And it was, this building supposedly earlier on was commandeered, which is a very unusual way in which a government takes and uses private property. We didn't have a part of that selection or that process. That was done by the administration early on. And as you can see, it's not something that we want. And I think we're moving out as soon as possible, at least the council. And that's my thoughts and hopes. And I know Councilman Brannigan wants to chime in as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Wilmot. Councilman Brannigan?
Well, the only other thing I have to say is the prior administration spent $32 million and not one penny was brought to this council to ask what you think. When I found out about the first 4 truck purchases at $284,000, I started questioning things. And the prior administration says, well, you want to talk about the trucks? Let's talk, what about the other $5 million at the time? I said, well, I want all that too. And now it's up to $32 million. Look, a lot of it's justified. We had to get streets cleared. That was a lot of money to do stuff like that. But this council didn't know anything about what was being spent, especially in this building, okay? Now, I mean, it infuriates me.
Councilmember Swath.
Mr. Al, you sat out there and somebody did the same as I before I sat up here to council. I heard the administration give many false statements. I heard my colleagues ask questions. And you know, oh, we got this, or it's not that much. Don't worry about it, we got it. And my colleagues were kept in the dark. I sat out there, I wrote my notes, and I could see it from out there. You saw it too. I mean, not everything was brought to their attention. And a lot of things that go on with the past administration, the council members were never brought into it. They was never there. So I just give them a little bit of leadway here because we know what the previous administration has done. They whitewashed everything. They lied to you and me. Sitting out there, they sat there and they lied to us. They lied to my colleagues as well, okay? Just give them a little break on this right here. And I know my colleagues. We've worked together for just almost 2 months now. If they would have seen this up front, I know Mr. Brannigan, he would have said something, okay? If he knew it, he would have definitely have said something, okay? Just give us a little bit of leeway on this, and thank you, all right? As always, bring something up to everybody's attention, okay? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Madam President. Richard Brown, 824 Sessions Lane in District 4. I want to pick up on something Al Morella brought up because it ties in with what I was going to say anyway. And Mr. Morella may or may not know this, and I may not have the name of this act exactly right, but Louisiana's Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness Act gives not just the governor, but parish presidents and mayors extraordinary, almost unbelievable powers to act unilaterally in the event of an emergency. Once the governor declared the emergency after Ida and the mayor declared that the city of Kenner was in an emergency, whether we like it or not, Mayor Zahn had the right to do almost anything he wanted to without consulting anybody on the council. And I'm looking at the council, but these remarks are from Mr. Morella. The law gives him the right to do what he wants to. He can bust the budget. It doesn't matter what money is budgeted for what. The Emergency Powers Act gives him extraordinary powers. I firmly believe the council was not aware of what was going on. And that leads me to what I was going to say to start with, which is that I understand that Mayor Glazer has just renewed the emergency declaration for the city of Kenner, and that does concern me. Now, I don't have the same fears about Mayor Glazer going out and spending money the way Mayor Zahn did, but Hurricane Ida was a year ago. In 10 days, it'll be 1 year. The city of Kenner is no longer in a state of emergency. We're still rebuilding, we're making repairs, we're getting FEMA reimbursements. We are not in a state of emergency. The governor terminated the COVID emergency, I think, back in March. I think he has also terminated the Hurricane Ida emergency, but I'm not sure. And I tried to call this office a while ago to find out, and I was told the only person who can give me an answer is not there today, and they can't tell me anything until Monday, so call back Monday. So maybe some of you know whether the governor has terminated the Ida emergency. But my question, I guess, is for Mayor Glazer. And Mayor Glazer, I don't see why we are in a state of emergency. So I'm just wondering, why renew the emergency declaration?
Well, it expires next week, I believe it is. The state is still under an emergency, and the parish is still under emergency. And the city is still under an emergency as we rebuild from this last storm. It's just a blanket statement that we're still in this building. You know, once we get out of this building, we can move better to get away from it, because it's basically FEMA reimbursement stuff is why the expenses in this building still under an emergency, because we don't have City Hall or city government house to work out of. We're slowly getting there, but I may sign it one more time next week.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
But look, there's nothing, you know, I consult with these guys all the time on daily business, you know, because I know how it was before, you know. We're not always going to agree, you know, but I bet you and I agree that Councilman Brannigan has the ugliest tie made on today. But no, look, we have a very good working relationship, so that's just a declaration that's in place, you know, for a reason. And I would be happy to get out from under it and never sign another one again. So you have my word on that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I know you do have a very good relationship with them. And as I said, I don't have the concerns that you would try to do the same things the former mayor did. But it seems like the emergency's over. So I hope it ends soon, and I'm glad that you folks have a terrific working relationship. Thank you. Anyone have any questions for me?
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Councilman Wilmot?
I just wanted to thank you for coming up and pointing out, because I know you attend a lot of these meetings, and you were here when you heard, just as like we hear, that a lot of these things were done under emergency powers. So the council didn't actually vote on many of these things, or any of them necessarily, and that's it's not brought to our attention. Therefore, it's not necessarily brought to the public's attention unless we bring it up in discussion at these meetings, and we did a lot of that. So I appreciate you pointing that out. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
Councilman Brannigan? Did you? Oh, okay. Nope. Okay, thank you. Mr. Smith, Earl Smith? And welcome, Mr. Smith. If you could state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Yes, I will not need 3 minutes. I'm Earl Smith, 613 Hanson Avenue, Kenner, Louisiana. And I just wanted to congratulations to our new council person for District 1. Thanks for that, and congratulations to the mayor. Also, I wanted to had some issues with some things that the president of the Citizens Association just told me that they've already discussed that with our new council person, and they've got a list of the things that's at issue. My only concern was that it's an emergency situation on Kenner Avenue. There's going to be a powerful accident over there with those trucks and cars because of the potholes that's big. So that was my issue, and since it's already been taken care of, I won't waste any more time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Councilmember Dunn?
Yeah, Mrs. Smith, thank you so much. I actually was coming to the Old Kenner Civic Association, in which I think you're a member of. They invited me in July, and then they canceled me out, and then they invited me in August, and they canceled me out also. So they rescheduled me for September. So I will be there in September, but one thing I would like, the other issues that you all will have, I would like to bring someone from the administration with me also to address those issues, because I'm the councilwoman, but you do have department heads to address that. So if you all would get that to me, I definitely would be at your meeting. And thank you again. And thank you for coming and addressing.
Mayor Glazer?
And Mr. Smith, we get an email at least once a week with all the issues in and around. So it's actually a big help. Not only just an email, but photographs come also. So, and we can't do it all at one time, but I know we're already working on some of it.
I
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Eddie Mason or Mason? Okay. Emily Massell? And Matthew Hotard. Mr. Hotard, if you could state your name and address or district.
Good morning. I'm Matthew Hotard, District 5. I'm also the president of the Kenner Firefighters Association. Thank you, Madam President. Congratulations to the new appointees. Nice to see you out there, and everybody new to my right as well. For a couple of things, our association put on a benefit and a fundraiser for our Firefighters Association, as well as the Spirit of Charity for the UCMC Burn Center as well. This is a chance for us to get to our community and for them to see us in a different light, and it was overwhelming, the community support and outreach that we had. So we're very thankful for that. I've been up here before with the older administration, and we've kind of let things settle in, but I did want to come up here and just address a few things for the new faces. Our department has been facing issues, and Chief Morris has talked about them before. Our stations are, and most of you already know this, but our stations still have some issues. Our trucks still have some issues. We do have 2 new trucks coming in the next couple months that are going to be on the streets, which is great news. But we are running with a skeleton crew. A big problem that we still have is retention. We just lost a firefighter to New Orleans, and we're going to keep losing them. And that's, I've said this before, is unfortunately a fact, because we're just not competitive with the pay. And I know that this is something that this board knows, that this mayor knows. But I just wanted to come up here and just reiterate the fact that we are still struggling. And I know this is an issue with the police department as well, as we heard. I think it's across the board, but our department is facing retention issues, and we can't fill the shoes fast enough. And it's just something I wanted to bring to the attention of everyone again, unfortunately, is that we are still having issues with this, and if it could be addressed sooner than later, that would be great, because I know there are a lot of things that you guys are addressing, but you know, it is still a problem, unfortunately, and it's something that we'd like to see fixed, and we are more than willing to help in any way that we can. So we just wanted to offer our help, and if there's anything that we can do, we would be more than willing to speak with anybody. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hotard.
Thank you.
Councilman Swarth?
Matt, just want to let you know, great night that we had out there at Coconut Beach.
Yeah.
I was happy to be with you, my fellow firemen that was out there that I knew I worked with for many years.
Thank you.
It's a great organization, great benefit, and it was good for everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody. Understand, I know the pay is one thing, but the stations, the apparatus, we got 2 coming in. We lost 2 that we shouldn't have. Okay, so you should have 4 trucks coming in.
Yes, sir.
And not 2. You know the situation, so do I, and we know what happened. The stations, we're working on that right now. You know, we just look, there's only so much in the jar right now.
No, we
When
understand.
you start putting out $2 million for a truck, and we got so much we got working right now, we're trying to get the stations repaired, try to get the station built. Money, not sure where 38 went, but we know where it's going. And I think, Mr. Jose, you can give us maybe an update on Station 38.
Not prepared
Well, I mean, anything close.
date right now, but Mark perhaps can give you an update on the status of repairs on that station.
Yeah, okay. I was talking about on the engineering, the rebuild and anything like that, just any.
You're talking about the new station, right?
Correct.
The new station, as far as design is concerned, is about 90% design complete right now, okay?
That's great.
So that's a good point, okay? However, the funding source that we need to build that station, we have not yet have achieved that funding source.
Correct. Yeah, I understand. I was just saying, I know that was in limbo. It's not a good spot on Duke Street. It's just not compatible for a response for a fire truck. Okay, just like the property we have at 25th and Illinois, that was out there years ago, proposed as a new Station 35 is not another spot that's compatible for a fire station. If we're going to move 35, we have to go to somewhere else.
Yes, sir.
We're working on it, bud.
Yep.
There's only so much in the jar, so many coins in the jar, and we got the stations, we got the trucks, and I can tell you, we're working on it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak? That being said, let's motion to adjourn.
Wait, can I say one thing?
Sure.
Not to make this any longer.
Sure, Chief Conley.
Just wanted to let people know that there's a scam going on. We got calls Tuesday that people are purporting to be with the Kenner Police Department and the City of Kenner. They're telling people they have attachments, open attachments, business with the court. They're making them go get prepaid cards, give the numbers to them over the phone. I know that people have been scammed for thousands and thousands of dollars. I just want the public to know that the City of Kenner or the Kenner Police Department will never call you and ask you to pay over the phone or to pay in any other manner other than to come to court. You won't get a phone call anyway. We do things by mail. But if you could tell your neighbors, especially your elderly neighbors or family members, because these people are good. One lady that I spent some time with, she's very intelligent, and I can't believe that she went down the path she went. But they're very convincing. They use fear, intimidation, and extortion. So please, reach out to your neighbors, reach out to your family members, and tell them that the City of Kenner does not operate in that manner, nor does any other law enforcement agency or any other municipality, to my knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Conley. We will see you in September in another location. Thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Okay, now I can get up.